Boom, coming in hot, Chinchy. How we doing, cuz?
Man, you know, I went to bed last night. There were like some coaching changes at the NFL, and I went to bed and I was like, wow, I just me and Case tomorrow. I got a pretty light day. Wake up this freaking morning and Tom Brady freaking retired. But we will get to that in a minute. There's a much bigger story than Tom Brady retiring. And it's that you blew out your back this morning. Take us through what happened.
Bro, in my world, this is the biggest story going right now. You know what I mean? Because, dude, when you get back pain,
dude,
it's like
crippling. The word is crippling. Yes.
So this morning I wake up early. I'm like, let's go. You know, like, let me get my routine going. Get me like before the day gets going. So I'm up at 6:15 to go downstairs. Do my meditation, blah, blah, it makes me feel good. Then now I'm in the workout room. Like, okay, bam, I'm gonna hit the tonal. I'm gonna do some deadlift, 3 sets of deadlift. Then I'm gonna do 3 sets of squat rows, and in between them, bro, I'm gonna get on the row machine and rip out some row sprints, dude. Like I'm gonna freaking turn. It's like it's cold out here in Pittsburgh today. Yeah. I'm turning to the furnace on inside me.
By the way, you have a great row machine. I've seen Sarah posted something of her getting after it on that.
Dude, it's the Peloton row. It's like the Mac Daddy of. It's like the Mercedes of row machine.
Yeah, it looks like a Ferrari. All right, so go on. So what happens?
So I'm on there, bro. So I rep out 1 rep, squat rows. I jump on the row, Chinch. I start ripping, dude. Like literally like I'm an Olympic rower. Meanwhile, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Yeah. But I'm ripping this row, and I usually, I row a lot, so I'm like, get good. And it was like on the sixth, I'm sprinting 150 meters at a time, right? So 150, boom, get off, do a set, 150. So on my 6th row, and it was going to be my last one too. About halfway through, I could feel like I didn't do the technique right. Like
yes,
you're supposed to go legs, body, arms. So I go like body and like back. And next thing you know, I feel that, when you hurt your back, you feel that initial like fire.
Yes.
So I felt the fire in my back, and I literally stopped because I've been here enough. I stopped really quick, and I was like, oh, did I get it in time? So I don't know, bro. I just took a 35-minute walk because I didn't want to like sit down because I can feel it.
I can see the stress. Like I can see the stress in your face, and I know exactly. When somebody gets a kink in their neck, and then they talk to you like this.
Yeah.
You kind of have a little of that in your eyes right now.
Do I?
It's funny when I was like. After my senior year, and I wasn't going to play pro baseball, I was playing on like this like kind of semi-pro Long Island team. It's called Stay Unusual Baseball, and it's a bunch of like mid-30s to mid-40s, like former, like legit, like couple guys who made it to the show, mostly minor league guys, whatever, who want to stick around and keep playing. And I'm like 20, 21 years old, and I would just like run out onto the field and play, and all of these guys would be stretching, and they were like, wait till you're our age. Now, you ever go, like I've been in the gym, like, I did this the other day. When you go to lift something up and you just, like you said, you catch something.
Yeah.
Now I'll just like, I would say once every time I'm working out, I go to grab something and I go, nope, I'm not doing that today. Have you done that? Like I do it consistently.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? I do it all the time. In your mind, too. Yes. Like you're like, nah, it's too heavy. Like that's a shot to get me. I'm not gonna, I don't want to.
No. Well, the other thing is like you're not facing Randy Johnson anytime this week.
Right.
So why?
Dude, I just want.
Like I do that too.
Feel
like,
healthy.
I get my heart rate to a certain point, and then if it starts going like this a little, I'm like, maybe I'll do a couple sit-ups and then call it a day. It's different, man.
Dude,
getting
I'm
older
big
sucks.
on. I just want to get my energy to a place where it's where I feel great. Where my energy is good all day. You know what I mean? I just want to turn the furnace on.
Yes,
every day.
I agree with that. I agree because if you don't, who was it? We had Nicky Cass on the other day. He's like, it's just that split second of, am I going to get some exercise and get my day going, or am I going to be a lazy son of a bitch all day? And like, it really is that split second. But like, I can't. I'm a mean person if I don't like get any of my energy out or get my heart rate moving.
That's a fact. I was just talking to a buddy of mine that I just took a walk with, and at the end of our conversation, I was talking about because I'm doing those 2 keynote speeches this week for Wright State and Gardner Webb this weekend, and I was talking about my the whole thing, the powers and the gaps, in grit and how to deal with adversity in your process of life and service. And at the end, he was talking about like getting into a routine every day, and sometimes he gets frustrated that he's like, there's like, he's lazy. He doesn't feel like doing something. And I said, well, he's like, what about like self-discipline? He goes, we all get into the motivation monkey where it's like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I was saying, yeah. And I go, really, it's working your willpower muscle, like doing things when you don't want to do them. So like,
yes,
that's self-discipline. Doing stuff when you don't want to do it.
Right.
And consistency is the secret sauce, and doing it every day in some capacity. It doesn't have to be 45-minute workout. It could be like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. But doing stuff when you don't want to do it. And then all of a sudden, like you said, Chinch, man, you go get that workout in.
No, you got, once you get through it.
It changes my energy for the day.
Once you get through it, you're like, and you're different.
So glad
Same
I did
thing
that.
with eating for me.
Yeah.
Like, think about like you go to like, let's say you take your kids, you're going to the diner, right? And you look, and there's always that picture of that like bacon cheeseburger with fries on the front of the menu, and you want it, but like when you're done, I do this a lot, especially because I have like some stomach issues here and there. Like I do it a lot where like if I just finish that, if I just get like a salad with some shrimp or chicken on it or steak or something. When I'm done with it, I will feel just as good and I'll feel better than if I had that bacon double cheeseburger, which I really want. And it's just that moment of like, first of all, if you eat the bacon cheeseburger, you're going to love it and it's going to taste great. And then all of a sudden after, you're just like, and that's the rest of your afternoon.
Yeah.
If you eat the salad, you're like, wow, I'm not hungry anymore, so I don't want the cheeseburger anymore. It's like this vicious cycle in my head that I go through.
Well, dude, no, it's literally, I feel like, I think it's a muscle. It's like with the willpower muscle, the self-discipline muscle, the consistency muscle. The more you do it, the better you get at it. You're like, okay, now I'm definitely doing this because I do this all the time and it works.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then let's segue right to probably one of the most self-disciplined human beings in the history of the planet, Tom Brady. I'm just going to rip off some stats. His all-time ranks, every player in the NFL, wins, 251. Pro Bowls, how's 15 Pro Bowls?
Oh, my gosh.
How about 5 Super Bowl MVP awards? Not just Super Bowl, 5 Super Bowl MVP awards.
MVP.
Completions, the most, 7,753. Attempts, 12,050, and that's just in a game, so think about how many times this guy's thrown a football in his life. Passing yards, first, 89,214. Passing touchdowns, first, 649. I mean, he really is the greatest of all time, right?
Wow. Dude, he's the great. I know, listen, dude, being from Pittsburgh here, too, there's always the debates because Joe Montana's from here. Jim Kelly's from here. Johnny Unitas is from here. Joe Namath is from here in Pittsburgh. It was like, oh, man, this is Pittsburgh U. There's other great quarterbacks, obviously, from Pittsburgh, too.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, when I look at it, I say, hey, 7 championships, like all those numbers you just said, Chinch, career wins, passing, all that stuff, touchdowns, all that stuff, postseason, did it when it was, the game was on the line, like even like Gronk was saying that thing about to Aaron Rodgers, well, how about you win some championships, not just MVPs? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like Tom Brady's a leader. Tom Brady's a guy people follow. Tom Brady goes to Tampa. They're like, oh, what's he going to do without Belichick? What's he going to do? He's going to win a fruit world. He's going to win a Super Bowl. That's what he's going to do. He's going to win, and he's going to win his 7th one. So to me, this guy's the greatest of all time. No doubt about it. I thought one thing that just popped into my head, Chinch, which is interesting, was, how nowadays when you got your Ken Rosenthal's, you got your John Heymans, you got JP Morosi, you got all these guys that are, Buster Olney's, all these guys that are the breaking news. Hey, this guy broke the news. This guy broke the news. Tom Brady broke the news on Twitter.
Yeah, how about that?
And I loved what he said here. He says, hey, I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so I woke up this morning. I figured I'd press record and let you guys know first from me. I just thought that's great. I wonder if you're going to see that more and more, too, from athletes saying, there's going to be nobody's going to break the news here. I'm going to break the news.
Yeah, Schefter broke the news last year on him, and he's kind of pissed about that.
Right. Mm-hmm. So he, basically said, no. And I think that's a big thing, too, with like, athletes nowadays with social media and Twitter, athletes have a voice. So if you write a story, back in the day, you write a story about an athlete, you're always backtracking to say, man, that's not true. I didn't say that. That's not true. Now you just hit record on Twitter, or you hit record on Instagram, and you go, hey, listen, let me tell you my side of the story. So I love what Tom Brady's saying.
I agree.
Hey, I'm going to let you know, I'm going to hit record on Twitter, and I'm done.
Yeah, I loved one other thing he said. He goes, "I'm not going to give you the whole retirement speech. I think you're only allowed one of those, and I already did it last year." I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I remember when Roger Clemens retired with the Yankees, and then he wound up going and signing with Houston. I remember Jeter made a funny thing. He's like, "What the hell? We got him a Hummer. We got him all this." He's like, "Is he going to give back all these presents?" Because he unretired. It's like going to a wedding and then the people break up in like 3 months. Like, do you get your crock pot back? Like, at what point do you get your gifts back from it?
Yeah. What about the china I bought you? Can you send that back to me?
Yes. Oh man. Anyway, I mean, there's like the other thing. Like, what makes the greatest is they make great players. They make good players great, and they make great players like kind of like Hall of Famers. And if you go back, like Randy Moss was arguably the best wide receiver of his generation, and then he goes and breaks the touchdown record with Tom Brady. Wes Welker was a good player, like back when he was with Miami, whatever. And then Wes Welker became like, I mean, borderline like Hall of Fame slot receiver because he was with Tom Brady. Like
Julian Edelman.
Edelman. Oh, forget about it. Yes,
Edelman. No way Edelman is the guy he is. Like
no way.
Without Tom Brady. Look when Welker left. Welker went into the sunset. There's a couple guys.
Troy Brown.
Amendola gets
Amendola.
Man, he goes to Miami, nothing. I can't remember the teams he went to, but like,
right, no, you were there.
Okay, you leave Tom Brady. Well, Tom Brady's making you, who you are, making you that, giving you that 4-year deal because he's getting the ball to you across those crossing slants and quick passes, and he made so many players so much better. I mean, I think there was a ton of years there in New England where, dude, there was not a great supporting cast around him, and he made those guys because he was so good with his decision making, and he made those guys, really what they were.
Yeah, the other thing for a guy like him, like he already knows what he's doing. Like a lot of you guys, like you retire from your sport and then you go and you get to your house and you go, oh shit, like, what do I do now? Like he's got like, what did he sign? Like a $375 million TV deal for after. Dude. So he's not going anywhere.
He's got his whole clothing line that he's doing. I mean, the guy's set. Chinch, I want to go to my one Tom Brady story that I have.
Oh,
I've told it on here before, but I love it. So when I was with the Red Sox in 2008, Scott Pioli was the GM back then, and I went out to practice, and it was really cool. And we were out there at training camp. And matter of fact, I was telling you that Matt Castle was super nice, and he and I were kind of hanging out the whole time. And Brady, I met Brady when at the end of practice, Brady was running into the clubhouse, or maybe it was the middle of practice, and I was talking to Matt Castle, and he was like, Tom, hey, real quick, come meet Sean Casey. And I'm like, oh man, this is so cool. This is my last year in the big leagues too. And I'm like, it was with the Red Sox, and I was like, oh man, nice to meet you, Tom. He's like, oh man, Sean, nice to meet you, man. Pleasure. He had to go. He's like, hey, I got to get head on. I go, dude, obviously you got practice. I'm just here like freaking watching. I'm here to really see you. It's incredible. So when the practice got started, Brady, right at the beginning of practice, they do all their stretches and then they get, they're getting into plays. And the second play of practice, Brady and the center fumbled the snap. And all of a sudden, dude, you'd have thought it was Upper St. Clair High School with Mike Junko and these guys. Like, dude, Tom Brady and this center start running a lap. Like,
unbelievable.
Dude, thousands of people. I mean, he's Tom Brady now. It's 2008. He's won a couple championships. They're the New England Patriots, dude. They're the creme de la creme. Here goes the practice stops. And Tom Brady and this center are running a lap. And I said to Scott Pioli, I go, Scott, what's going on here? Why is the greatest player in the NFL, why are we waiting for him to run a lap with the center? And he goes, Case, the reason that we're the New England Patriots, the reason Tom Brady's Tom Brady, the reason we're so good, the reason that everyone on this field does their job at an elite level is because when the best player in the NFL, when the best player in your team, when they lead the way and they do, they're all about the team and all about, being that leader, everyone else falls in line. And he goes, and that's why we're good. We're good because Tom Brady buys in to the team mentality, and that's why we dominate. And he was right. And Tom would go on to win 3 or 4 more championships after that. But that story will always stick in my mind of watching Tom Brady, the greatest player at the time in the NFL, because he fumbled a snap in a training camp practice run a lap with the center.
I love that story, and that transition is right. Like, let's stick on greatness and what makes people great and what drives them to be great. You saw something. Go right to Mike Trout. We'll go from Brady to Trout. That's easy segue. What do you got?
Well, dude, I'm big on this. I tell my kids all the time. Or I tell kids all the time, but I tell my kids, my boys, like, oh, you don't want to hit off the tee? Oh, Mike Trout hits off the tee. Like it goes recently on Twitter and I think Instagram, whatever, he's hitting in the cages. And I don't know if he's at his high school or at his house, but he's done it a couple times with his dad. And, he's back there kind of to his roots, the fundamentals. Like your dad's putting the ball on the tee, you're hitting balls, and he's working up the middle off the tee. Boom, boom, boom. Shot after shot. I always say, like, intentional repetition is the mastery of skill. That's how you master a skill.
Wait, say that again?
Intentional repetition. Intentional repetition is where you get skill mastery.
I like that.
Right? You don't not just repetition. Mike Trout's not in the cages on a tee pulling 300 balls and going, hey, man, I hit 300 balls today. No, Mike Trout's on the tee intentionally hitting line drives back up the middle to master the bat path of that barrel, right? And that's what he's doing. So that's why he's the best of the best. And what I love is I love saying that, hey, man, if it's good enough for Mike Trout, it's good enough for Jake Casey, or it's good enough for Andrew Casey, or Bill Jones, or Rich Cincinnamino, Sean Casey. If it's good enough for David Ortiz, I watch David Ortiz hit every day after tee. It's good enough. If it's good enough for Dustin Pedroia, it's good enough for Aaron Judge. If it's good enough for Bryce Harper, then it's good enough for you guys out there that are playing baseball that, oh, man, the tee's a little kid thing. No, it's not. The best player in the world does it daily, every day, as part of his routine. And he, like we talked about before, he uses his willpower, self-discipline muscle to get on the tee and to intentionally hit the ball where he wants it. Listen, at the end of the day, Chinch, to be great at anything, especially at the elite level of the big leagues, NFL, NBA, hockey, or whatever, you got to be a master at the fundamentals. A master. And I was saying the other day, Dustin Pedroia, you talk about grit, this guy would show up at noon every day to take 150, 200 ground balls. Then you go, hey, man, why is Dustin Pedroia the best second baseman in baseball? Why is he the defensive player of the year in 2013? I'll tell you why. This guy masters the fundamentals. He masters ground balls every single day for 7 months. He does it consistently. The secret sauce of consistency every single day. That's why these guys are the greatest. That's why Tom Brady's the greatest. That's why Mike Trout's the greatest. That's why Dustin Pedroia is one of the greatest. David Ortiz. These guys master the fundamentals, and they do it every single day. They're not working on diving plays and all that stuff. They're working on balls right at them. They're working on hitting the ball up the middle, and they master it. And when they get in the game, guess what? What wins out every time? The fundamentals, time and time again.
Jeez, man. Dude, you've been grinding over these keynote speeches, dude. Why don't you just put that in one of these speeches?
I got to put that in there, dude. It's true.
You got to transcribe this, what you just said. Sean's been literally the guy who, when you watch on a movie, he's trying to write something, and then he crumples up the paper and throws it in garbage, and then you pan over, and there's 8,000 crumpled pieces of paper. That's what Sean's been doing for 3 days. Dude, you just gave a master class. I'll send you the transcription of the show, and you can call it a weekend, bro.
I'll just put that up, Chinch. I'll just put that up with the speech.
Yes. Keynote. Yeah, just hit. Hey, guys, here. There it is. Take a listen to this. Holy Stromboli. Wow, that was really great, Case. I don't even know where to go from there. But there is one other story that we wanted to. Well, actually, you know what? Let's stick with baseball real quick.
Yeah.
Zach Greinke goes back to the Royals. Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
I love it. It's a great sign. I guess, and one of the biggest things is, too, you think Zach Greinke's a Hall of Famer?
I'm wondering that.
I think a big reason he comes back, I think he's close to 3,000 strikeouts, which that's a big number. 3,000 strikeouts, that's a big number. I think he's 100 away or something like that.
And he's a historian. He loves the game.
Yeah, so. And dude, he was averaging over 4 Ks per 9 last year, but still had a 3.6 ERA or something like that. Dude, really had a nice year because he's reinvented himself, because he can. He's almost like a Maddox Light now, the way he moves the ball. Almost has an Ephus curveball at times, has a great two-seamer. He can cut it. he's manipulating the ball, at a different rate right now than he used to. When he first came up, dude, I faced Zach Greinke throwing 99 miles an hour. When you're like, who's this young buck?
Yeah.
Oh, it's this guy's named Zach Greinke. He's just throwing fuel. Well, it's like CC Sabathia, these guys that eventually have to reinvent themselves. Greinke's done that to get some more wins and to get some more strikeouts and to still be a really good pitcher in the league. So good sign for the Royals. Good sign for Zach Greinke. And it's definitely going to give him a push. I think of Zach Greinke, I think of Mike Mussina, kind of. I think that's a good comp. And I think you're going to see, the numbers that he puts up after this year when you look at the Cooperstown numbers, the guys are really going to have to pay attention to, he's had some greatness.
Yeah. Actually, dude, honestly, first of all, those Kansas City teams he played on in the first part of his career were awful. And he hung a 17-loss season on him in his second year. Dude, his career winning percentage in 19 years is .613. He's 223 and 141.
That's incredible.
Dude, that's up there. How about the year he had a 1.66 ERA?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
1.66 with 19-3. Dude, the more I'm looking at his stats right now on Baseball Reference,
Chinch, he's got great numbers. I mean, he was elite. How many Cy Youngs did he win? I know he won at least one in Kansas City. I'm not sure.
He only won the one in Kansas City. But again, like the next year, like there were years that he could have won it, but like he just didn't get it. But he's definitely a statistical darling in a lot of categories. Like the WHIP and the ERA plus. In 2 years he led an ERA plus. Like that's what a lot of these guys vote on. The comps now for a pitcher are not the same as they were 15 years ago. Nobody's going to get to 300 wins, and like the numbers aren't the same. Your strikeout number, I think I like that as one, but like, dude,
the number is not 300 wins anymore. It's like the number is not going to be 500 homers either. The numbers are changing. It's not going to be 3,000 hits anymore either. These guys aren't going to play long enough, I don't think.
And by the way, 2 stints, like from 2016 through 2021, he played in Arizona and in Houston. Those are hitters' parks, like big-time hitters' parks. And he still put up numbers. There's 1 year between Arizona and Houston. He was 18-5 with a 2.93, dude. That's unbelievable. Yeah. He's an all-star multiple times. He's been on winning teams. The second part of his career, dude. I think he has a very strong Hall of Fame case.
I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, dude. I really do.
Yeah. All right. We got that going. All right. There's one other topic we wanted to talk about, and we were going to do this yesterday, but ran out of time.
Why don't we hold that for Boo?
Oh, that's a good idea. We'll
hold that for Boo. Lamboo's coming on tomorrow, right? So we'll hold that for the Lambooski and see what he says about it.
Wonderful idea. That's
all things NFL.
Idea. All things NFL. That's right. I forgot about that. Look at you. That's why you're co-producer and head producer of your own show.
We're in this together, bro. We're in this together, bro.
All right. So I think we've set it all in for today. Look at that. We got a half hour.
Awesome, man.
Dude, I'm gonna go rewatch your rant and then go like. I'm not gonna do push-ups though, because I don't want to throw my back out.
Exactly, dude. I'm gonna go hit the cold tub right now. Do something.
Oh my God. All right.
Get this thing going. But
good luck.
All right, brother. I love you, man. Hey, everyone out there, please keep subscribing, downloading. Chinch and I we're finding out the numbers. Only, 20 to 25% of you guys are subscribed. So if you're not and you're listening on Apple, Spotify, there's a little plus button up above. I know on Apple, you just hit that plus. It helps us out a ton. So we appreciate it. And all right, brother, I'll see you tomorrow with the Lambooski, baby.
All right.